So, welcome back to Green Box Gaming plays Delta Green Impossible Landscapes. We are here with my good friends Brad, Dace, and Jean, and then I am Joe, your handler. Before we get started, before we kind of get into what we're going to be doing like today, I realized that one of the things that kind of not really talked about really is that we haven't really talked about what Delta Green is or what we're doing here, and I feel like especially if anyone else ever watches this, they're going to be a little bit confused about what is actually happening. So I guess we'll start with I want to start with Dace. What do you think Delta Green is? Like, how would you describe Delta Green to the completely uninitiated?
Well, Delta Green is like Call of Cthulhu, but with either more or less steps. I'm not sure which. What is Call of Cthulhu, you ask? It's a tabletop role-playing game. What is a tabletop role-playing game, you ask? Well, in 1976, there's a man called Gary Gygax.
All right. I think we're getting too far into it.
What is a Gary Gygax?
What is a Gary Gygax?
What the hell? What kind of name is Gygax? Like, what country of origin does it come from?
I don't know.
Maybe Odin.
But
He comes from the ether himself, the outer world.
Delta Green is, I mean, it's a horror-based game for sure. It deals with like Cthulhu mythos, but not exclusively Cthulhu mythos. That's one difference between it and Call of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
It's about suspense, but it's also about the process a lot more than Call of Cthulhu, I think. Like, it's the organization of Delta Green is almost as much of a character as PCs, and like the mythos behind it and the history of it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So how about this? How about Jean? Like, what do you think about, or what do you know about the actual organization of Delta Green itself? Like, what's your conceptualization of it?
It's shadowy at best. It's a shadowy organization that isn't really an organization, but more a one that you do not talk about. So it lies in between.
Okay.
It's on best. That's all you should know, and that's
all you
the
have
questions you should ask, frankly, because right now.
Well, okay.
That's
Brad,
talking about this.
That's really all we need to know. I don't think we have to ask Brad. I think we got it.
Yeah, don't ask about it. Don't talk about it. Brad, what do you think Delta Green does? Like, the organization of Delta Green, what do you think it's all about?
I mean, I think you explained it pretty good. Like, for someone not who doesn't know anything about like tabletop games or even Cthulhu, it's basically like the Men in Black, a version of the Men in Black. Only instead of aliens, it's everything supernatural. That's how I see it.
It's a good way to put it.
And a lot
it's
funny,
like,
or comical. Definitely funny, just not like intentionally so.
Yeah, the comedy is not as lighthearted as Men in Black is sometimes.
No.
But yeah, like, I think it's an apt comparison that, you know, that the Delta Green game is about. It's about that you are working with an organization, Delta Green, that basically has taken upon itself the defense of humanity. Sometimes, depending on different parts in history, maybe they're kind of looking out for the United States, you know, or there's times where they're tilted more towards that. But basically the idea is like, there are things out there in the universe, you know, you call them aliens, call them demons or spirits, call it Bigfoot, whatever it is, anything that you've ever heard a conspiracy theory or a weird story about, Delta Green would have been there and basically trying to cover up the awful truth. That, you know, that something is going to get us eventually. Like, I think that's part of like the Cthulhu mythos kind of idea, is like that there are entities that exist outside of the world or outside of our realm, outside of our dimension, that eventually will destroy or eat or just wake up and everything will be destroyed. And that's, I think, and it all comes from, or the vast majority of it comes from Lovecraft, who wrote a bunch of the Cthulhuan stories. So it's all based on old H.P. Lovecraft. So yeah, but it's like, I think probably one of the most popular pieces of media that's kind of touches on the feel of it, I think we mentioned it last time, is True Detective Season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good
They kind of
comparison.
touch on that idea of there being the otherworldly or the unnatural kind of putting its tendrils into the real world. But yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Russ Cole would be a fun character to play. Like just
Yeah.
a Russ Cole ripoff.
Right?
I'm sitting here writing down a list of backup characters in case
Cuss
Benji
roll.
dies.
Yeah, I would like to change my name to Woody Harrelson,
Okay.
if possible.
Yeah.
First, what I've got was Smill With, and he would like have a lot of points in hand-to-hand combat, and he would have anger issues about his wife,
Yeah.
and that's Smill With.
That's old Smill with.
And there's Jamie Lee Tones.
And what's Jommy's specialty?
Being a grizzled old bastard.
Okay, Roger.
All right,
did I
I
tell
like him already.
Did I tell you guys about Cabinet of Curiosities?
Yes,
mentioned that to
I think
guys?
you
you've
sent it.
mentioned it.
Check it out. It's Guillermo del Toro. He produces it, and each episode is directed by a different director. So there's varying quality. Like I think some are much better than others. I think there's 8 episodes, but some of them are like crazy good and really, really touch on some of the things that make Delta Green great.
You know who writes it? Is it one writer or is it like an anthology type thing?
Every episode's completely different, completely separate story. So yeah, I don't know who the individual writers are each one. Yeah, it's.
I still want to see that
very good.
last thing Nick Cage has been in that was straight up like a Lovecraft story, Color Out of Space. Have y'all seen
Color
that
Out
one yet?
I have not.
It's a movie with Nicolas Cage in it. Not Nicolas Cage. Yes, Nicolas Cage.
Yes, Nick Cage. I've read
Okay.
the story, the source material from Lovecraft, and it's probably one of the better Lovecraft stories I've read.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's not a well, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
not
hard-
a monster. Wow.
It's hard to even say what it is. Yeah, well, I guess it's not a monster.
Wow.
I was actually gonna say it's
Dang.
not a Munster cheese.
Okay. It's not a
That makes
cheese.
sense. Takes off.
There's no monster. Why am I even gonna watch it now? Shit.
Why would I watch it? All right. So, where we left off last episode, we spent the first third kind of getting characters together, and we were introduced to our 3 characters. We were introduced to Brad's character, Hank Ellis, U.S. Marshal, to John's character, Benedict Farthington, and to Dace's character, Benji Potts.
meet you.
Benji Potts, blues historian, and Bennington Farthington is, I believe, an editor-in-chief of the Daily Mail.
Yes.
What kind of publication is the Daily Mail? It's a real publication. I know that. Like,
Yes. Yes.
what kind of stuff do they publish?
It's not the highbrow sort of publication that you're used to. It's the more middle tier. You talk about the crazy things that are happening with your neighbor's dogs, the weird ducks that you see on the pond. That's where this kind of journalism sits.
Is it like conspiracy tabloids kind of stuff?
Close.
Okay.
But he looks down on every other
But he looks down on
artist.
Yeah. This guy peaked too soon. Definitely.
Yeah.
What was it he said last session to that writer? That was so cold.
He's like, do you
Awful.
consider yourself an artist?
No. It was when he was leaving the room. The guy was like, "I've got some writing to do," and he's like, "Yes, you do."
You do. It's ice cold. The funny thing is because Jean is such a nice guy, like, and it's just, and then I think you even mentioned it last time. You're like, God, this is hard.
It's really difficult, yeah.
Yeah. So last time, our three characters, Hank, Bennington, and Benji, received their summons. It is 1955 in New York City.
Wait, quick
What?
recap of Hank. We missed Hank.
What about Hank? Hank, U.S. Marshal.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
That's all he is. That's all he
That's
is.
his
He's just
All you need.
That's all you need now. But yeah, so it's 1955. You guys are in New York. You were summoned by your handler, Agent Marcus. And it's also worth noting that your code names are Agent Molasses for Hank, Agent Matador for Bennington, and of
Previously
course Agent
encoding.
Meetya. Agent Meetya for old Benji Potts. Pleased to meet you. You guys were summoned by your handler. You were told that that a case had caught the attention of a cell. You guys are members of M cell, which is why your code names all start with M. That the command element of Delta Green had caught wind of something suspicious and an occult symbol that was detected, that was photographed or noticed in some files from a missing persons case in New York. Abigail Wright, and if you guys aren't already on Roll20, and go ahead and head there. Abigail Wright, a young artist living in New York in Kips Bay, has gone missing, and it basically, the case kind of went cold. It was an NYPD case, but then her credit card was discovered in Maryland, which prompted it to become a concern for a kidnapping case, which has fallen to the FBI's jurisdiction. You guys are all there under the auspices of being FBI agents. You've been given the arduous task. Once you all actually arrived at her apartment, you discovered that the apartment was filled with junk, a weird kind of hoarder's paradise mixed with some bizarre, like almost shrine. And you begin to investigate because you guys have been given the cover task. Your cover for being there for the FBI is that you need to catalog everything in this place, which is going to take several days. You guys begin to look into what's going on here. Don't think I have forgotten that Benji Potts got a critical success on an occult roll to kind of get an idea of what was going on here. I have not forgotten that. You guys began to look through some of the things. Benji went in and started searching. Wasn't able to get any. Sorry, that's the dog. Wasn't able to find anything successful, but he had this kind of strange thing going on. He was there in the room, and he kept hearing static. And every time he would go over and move a pile of garbage or papers or or soda cans, like he would go over and move them, and the static would be somewhere else. He spent a little time, kind of wasting some time doing that, but it was a little odd. You guys went and spoke to one of the neighbors, Roger Caroon. I forgot how I decided his name was actually pronounced. But that was the author who you guys went and talked to. Bennington and Hank interviewed him. Seems to be no new information there. It seems to be a bit of a failed writer. You guys then went to one of the other neighbors, who I believe, which one was it that you had gone to and really offended
Thomas.
him? Yes, you guys went to Thomas Manuel, and Benji was really effectively got that door slammed in you guys' face. And that is where we left off. So, I will say this as we start off. It is getting late in the evening. It is quite late. It's probably about time for you guys to head home. In past operations that we've played, you guys have really been on the mission, on the operation, and that's all you're doing because you had some official cover. This is not that. You guys live here in New York. You have responsibilities. You have jobs. You have people who want to see you. You have responsibilities to different folks. Hank works at the U.S. Marshal Service. Bennington is here corresponding or working with probably one of the local, maybe you've got an office at the Times. You're doing some work with them for the time being. And and Benji's working on a dissertation and is working at Juilliard. So you guys have responsibilities, professional ones on top of personal ones. So, that being said, it is getting late in the evening. You guys are in Abigail Wright's apartment in the McAllister building. What would you like to do?
What time exactly is it?
We'll say it's like 6-ish o'clock. Like it's sun's starting to go down. It's typically going home kind of time.
And where are we talking right now?
Right now, you guys are still in the McAllister building, which is where Abigail Wright's apartment is.
Something else that's kind of also wanted to point out. You kind of touched on, Joe, but I guess Benji's the only one that has any, even if it was like a small hint of some kind of supernatural element being there, because he had he rolled that critical roll on the just looking at the apartment, but then he also saw a clown child with a dragon flag.
Oh, yes. When you guys were in the park getting your briefing, Benji saw something odd, which was he saw this weird clown that was doing this weird dance with this paper dragon and a record player in the park. And then when Benji looked back, it was gone. It was just it's kind of an odd happening.
Well, Hank's gonna say, Benji and Benedict, I don't know what exactly brought you to this organization or what you're exactly doing outside of our investigation, but I'm gonna say it right now. I don't like Thomas. Nobody makes a possum's pecker out of Hank Ellis. And I'm gonna put on a mask and come back here later tonight and ransack his apartment.
Wow!
Golly, that seems
by the
a
way,
bit much.
And by the way, do you guys know each other's real names, or are you just code names?
I don't think we've said it to each other yet, really.
No.
Just code names.
Benji may have, because Benji.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so Hank is saying that he's going to come back and rob this guy's place?
Well, yes, I am, because for all I know, I don't know if any of y'all have seen any nonsense about a markings or some whatever this the organization found. I don't see it. For all I know, the Wright girl's in that man's apartment, and he was acting suspicious, and that's where I stand.
You do also know the NYPD has interrogated these people. You guys talked earlier in the day with Detective was it Guardanda? Is that it? And he had told you that they were going to bring over the files and stuff for you guys of the interviews and things they have done. So you do know that. You do know that people have been inside his apartment, most likely. And I will say this, you guys have offended him, but it doesn't mean you can't come back at a different time, perhaps.
With disguises.
Hank's a little hot. Hank's a little hot-headed, okay?
Okay.
So maybe I will take a look at the file. but I still don't like that man.
Mhm. And keep in mind, like you guys, there are other, there might be other things to investigate.
Yeah, how many
That aren't-
neighbors do we have left?
Like 3.
So, if you guys will reference the map on Roll20 there, and actually
Yeah.
I can move us over to that screen as well. It's a 3-floor building. That is, there's a ground floor, the first floor, which is the one above the ground floor, and then the second floor. There is also a basement, but you have to go around the outside to get to the basement access. You actually have to go out to the alleyway and down a set of stairs to the basement.
Okay.
So in this building, there are 11 apartments. And if you guys, and like you would have noticed this when you came in. When you came in, you guys had keys to get in the building. And there are the buzzers, where you can buzz in to get someone, you buzz up to someone's apartment so they can let you in. You would have noticed there that there are no name tags on most of these. And the packet that you have from Agent Marcus, from the info that the FBI has, it seems that the vast majority of this place is empty. In fact, it seems like between Abigail and her neighbors that there's only 5 people living here out of 11 apartments, and Abigail's missing.
That in and of itself is super weird, right? Like an apartment with that many vacancies in New York.
Right. And this
is metagaming a little bit, but look at that man's bed on the floor plan. It's in a corner and facing out. What kind of psycho does that?
This dude's got problems.
This dude's a whack job. Well, the building itself is it is a turn of the century, old school building. It's got big concrete gargoyles on the outside, and inside it looks like it used to be very snazzy, very ritzy. There's the carpet is like a plush red, except for the fact that it's been beaten down by years of use. It's kind of the wallpaper is gaudy. You can imagine it might have been quite luxurious at some point, but it's peeling in the corners and whatnot. And the banisters are very nice. It looks like an old building that was converted into apartment at some point in time and has not been, preserved super well. It's been lived in.
I'm picturing that one swanky casino in Fallout New Vegas that was swanky but has fallen into disrepair.
You know what? That's not a bad comparison. Maybe a little less rundown and a lot less ghouls.
Less radiation.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think we probably got time for. Go ahead.
No, Benedict was going to say, well, sirs, that seems like that's past my bedtime. I'm going to go and retire for the evening because, honestly, I don't get paid well enough to do this job.
Your bedtime is at 6 o'clock? Golly, I thought I went to bed early.
And he may head out, but probably go past the mailboxes, and he's got something in mind for mailboxes.
Okay, you do have a mailbox key. For Abigail, it's with her, with the rest of her, the apartment key. There's a smaller mailbox key on there.
Well,
got
Benji, it looks like Benedict's left us now. I could use some backup on this operation. I am going to go into this man's room. And there's a reason we are assigned to this. The police couldn't figure it out. That's why we're here. We might need to show a little muscle.
Which man are you talking about?
Lord have mercy, the psychopath with the bed caddy cornered in his room, even though we as characters couldn't see that on the first floor.
That's an awfully detailed blueprint. How do you imagine they can see into people's rooms like that?
I frankly don't want to think about it too much, Benji, but where do you stand on this night raid?
Well, it's only 6. I figure we got time for one more interview, and then I'd like to check out if there's a basement under Abigail's apartment.
Is the
Sounds-
basement directly under Abigail's apartment?
I mean, it's under the building.
Because I wanted to check out Lewis, aka the bed psycho's room, because it's directly above Abigail's apartment, right?
Oh, he has a
I
catty
think the
corner
bed psycho
bed
is
too.
Thomas.
Yeah, they both have beds that are oddly placed.
Oh,
Sounds
you-
like Hank wants to continue to harass the person that you slighted by saying "Hablas español?"
I will say this, Hank. You know that you know that your mission is not necessarily your Delta Green mission is not to find Abigail. Your Delta Green mission is to figure out what is unnatural here, if there is anything, and to neutralize it, whatever that means. Second, as a U.S. Marshal, you know that this is incredibly illegal, what you're talking about doing, and could end in some pretty heavy consequences. And as a handler, I will leave it there.
Hank is the law.
Let's see where this goes.
I'm going to express everything you just said to Benji, but damn it, I can't help it. I'm still an officer of the law, and I need to protect this girl's life, if it's even still there.
Fair enough.
I ain't gonna stop you, but if you do anything illegal, I just don't want to know about it.
Well, Benji, I'm very well not going to do this on my own and stop the whole game so I can do something crazy like this, but maybe we'll think about it, all right? I'll just think about it, Benji.
I will.
All right.
Right,
So we want to try one more
Benedict.
interview?
Yeah, I want to check out the apartment above Abigail's, see if this guy's heard anything.
Louis.
Yeah, so you wanna talk to
Lewis
Lewis Post.
Hosts.
Get to my info on Lewis. Okay. So, you guys, actually, let's go to, God, what's your ridiculous name again? Benedict. Let's go to Benedict again real quick. So, Benedict, you're on your way out. You basically told the guys, like, I'm out. I'm done for the day. I don't get paid enough for this. You're really not getting paid anything for this when you think about it. So, you're on your way out, and what are you going to go do?
He's going to go ransack the mailboxes.
Okay.
And also open Abigail's one to check if there's anything legitimate there.
Okay. Yeah, you open Abigail's mailbox, and as you do, as you turn the key, the little door, like, pushes open with all of the mail in it. There is a significant amount of mail stuffed into this box, probably from the other side that postal workers have just been pushing mail in as it's stacked up.
Damn it.
You see there's a lot of stuff in here. You can take some time to go through it, but as one of the big things that you notice immediately as you're leaping through it are big red letters like past due, final notice, things like that. Looks like a lot of it's bills that have gone unpaid, and in 1995 all of those would have been delivered by mail. There wouldn't be so yeah, that's the first thing. That's what you notice right now, just looking at it without really kind of getting into it.
Oh, kind of mutters himself. It's fucking. Grabs all the mail, goes back to the rooms, and says, fellas, and I don't know if they're up the stairs yet, but he doesn't give a fuck. So he goes and dumps them along with the rest of the shit in Abigail Wright's apartment. And gets back to the other mailboxes and wants to search or find if there's anything, because he was quite offended by by Thomas Manuel's curtness. So he wants to go and maybe try dig around, maybe even break open Thomas Manuel's mailbox.
Okay. So if you try to get into Thomas Manuel's mailbox, you will have to break him. You do not have a key. So does Benedict have? I think I was calling you Bennington, by the way. I think that's wrong.
It's his alias, Bennington. Yes.
Okay. Does Benedict have a skill that would actually assist him in that?
Got unarmed combat, but that's not going to get him much against the mailbox.
Just fucking wailing on the mailbox.
Doesn't really have anything except for, I guess, his big build. So he could just try and rip it out. He's a big burly guy.
Well, I'm gonna say that without a tool, you're not gonna be able to do that.
I do fully support you doing this, Benedict, though.
Yeah.
All right, he doesn't have anything on him. He's just come from work, so he doesn't have any tools. Can he take a look around to see if there's anything lying around that he could use?
Yes. You can do such a check to see if there are some random crowbars lying about.
What do you think? Or maybe you could use his intelligence to find a clever way to get in.
What kind of are these, like standard apartment mailboxes that are like set up in a grid kind of pattern?
Yeah, like you're walking the building, and they're there to the side.
Yeah.
Now, okay, in our apartment building, there's a latch on the side that opens up a whole row. It's not like you can have an individual key, but there's a big latch on the side that opens up the whole section for the mail guys to just like throw them in there. Is there anything like that, Joe?
There's probably something like that. Like
so
there's a space on the
break
back
this latch,
side.
you might be able to get like access to all of them. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Can I go for that? But I need a tool then. Like
I'd say you need a tool. You don't have anything.
Need a tool. Okay. Does Hank have anything on him? Hank would have something on him, right?
Maybe not on him, but I would assume he probably can get access to this, right, Joe?
I would say that it'd be fairly easy for Hank to get access to pry bar, crowbar, like a multi-tool kind of deal.
Well, Hank notices what Benedict's trying to do. He's like, I fully support this idea, Benedict, and on our way out, I will find some tools for you to steal this person's mail.
I love how you guys have taken this guy so like personally. The fact that Benji basically did this.
I think we should do this now. Okay. Hank's not stupid. I think Hank would think he needs backup, so I'm not going to raid this guy's apartment. I do want to. Hank does want to, but not without backup. I think at the very least we should snoop around. There's no reason for him not to let us in his apartment, especially.
Yeah. Benji's like,
I don't condone none of this, but back home we used a tool to kill cows, and it was like a little bolt that goes into their head and blows their brains out. If we could find one of those, we could probably get these mailboxes unlocked.
Yeah.
What's most you would wager on a coin toss?
Hank just stares.
Benedict just looks and shakes his head.
Never mind.
Simpleton.
Never mind.
You're scaring me, Benji.
All right. So is Benedict leaving for the time being?
No, Benedict, I guess, will realize the futility of what he's doing, but he will wait for Hank at the entrance. You fellas do whatever you need to do upstairs. I'm going to wait here.
I figure we'll do this like Benji can lead the investigation if he wants to, and I figure we'll just do this one more.
That went great.
On the way out to our respected home lives. I think I would want Hank to stop by the office and hands Benedict some tools on the side or something to that extent,
So, but for now, you guys are going to go upstairs and talk to Lewis Post.
Yeah.
Okay, and Lewis, he has the apartment directly above Abigail, as Benji had noticed. He is in 4A, and the letters depend on the way that the building is numbered and the apartments are numbered. Apartments on one side of the building are A, and the apartment on the other side of the building are B, and then they're also numbered 1 through 11. You guys get to Lewis Post's room, and you give it a knock. Who's going to be engaging with Lewis, or who's going to start out?
I guess I will.
Yeah. All right. You knock on the door, and as you do, you see. Actually, let me grab Lewis on the old Roll20. Let's grab a picture of Lewis here. Where are we? There he is. There he is.
He did it. He's the killer.
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
He's on our shit list.
Look
now
how
as
big
well.
his head is compared to everyone else.
Give me a second, guys. Christ. There we are. So
Obviously the killer.
that's Lewis. You should be able to control that, and I have to finagle something real quick on.
Pasty white skin, soulless eyes, nondescript demeanor, classic serial killer.
Classic serial killer.
Or just a programmer.
Basically
the
a serial
difference?
killer.
God, it's like every time I look away from looking at him, I forget what he looks like. How's that possible? He's so bland. He's like, if I could describe him in the best analogy I could come up with is like unseasoned mashed potatoes. No salt, no pepper.
Wow.
I bet he has an acoustic guitar in his room that he only knows 2 songs on.
Oh, you know it. And they're both Hoobastank.
He probably
All
drinks milk with his dinner every night.
Make sure to label his name to someone.
He probably waters
really
down his
forgotten it.
milk. He probably makes his own skim milk.
That has to be
This is
one of
gonna go
the
so well.
saddest things I've ever heard. That he waters down his own milk.
It's too spicy otherwise.
All right, you guys knock on
There's
the
too
door.
much flavor.
You guys knock on the door and you see this guy. He is he's how old is Lewis? And he's a young white guy. He comes to the door. He is wearing like a white t-shirt and a pair of khakis. He's wearing khakis at home.
Oh, no.
He's wearing khakis at home. Yeah, he is. And you see him, and he opens the door with the chain still attached. And he's like, "Can I help you?"
I'm Agent Mecha from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's Mecha, as in pleased to.
And he sticks out his hand.
I like your chinos, brother.
Thank you. Hold on. He closes the door, undoes the chain, opens up. He comes out and closes the door behind him. He's like, "Yeah, did you? Are you guys? Wow, are you guys here for? You guys must be here about Abigail."
That's right. When was the last time you saw Abigail?
I mean, right before, just kind of here and there. Sometimes I think the last time I probably saw her was, I think a few days before the police came around. I have an apartment that faces the street. I think I saw her, come here going. We don't really talk much. But yeah. I already told the NYPD that though.
You'd say your relationship with her was pretty casual?
I mean, I didn't really know her. Really. Like, not really. I just lived above her.
You ever hear any strange sounds coming from her apartment? How is she as a neighbor?
Oh, fine. Just regular, Yeah. That's
No
really
strange smells wafting up through the vents.
No. No, that's nothing like that. Is it? Shh. Do you think she's in the vents? Do you think she's? Oh my God, that's so bad. That's so terrible. Oh.
Look,
Oh, man.
brother, there's a lot of evil people in the world, and some people are just unaccountable for.
Yeah, that's terrible.
He say, "Do you think she's in the vents?"
Well, you said that. Was there anything bad smell? I just assumed.
Golly.
And tell me a little bit about yourself, Lewis. What do you do for a living?
I'm an illustrator.
Well, you draw mostly nudes.
No, I comic books. I do a lot of. I do some covers.
Oh, that's great. I love a strip every now and then. You got any, which ones are you working on in particular?
He gives you the names of some comic books that are like not the most well known, but they're like middle of the road. And he tells you he's done some cover art.
Like the
Manga.
bottom of the barrel superheroes that they're making movies about these days because they've exhausted all the other ones.
Yeah, not any of the big time stuff, but he's done some stuff.
Well, that's just great. I love your art.
Yeah.
You notice anything strange about Abigail and the days leading to her disappearance? Anything
No.
weird about her schedule, her comings and goings?
No, like I said, I didn't really pay attention. It's not really my business.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard not to pay attention to a girl like that. You know what I mean? She's a looker.
Yeah, that's. I've actually got something I'm working on. It's like, so I kind of need to get back in here if you guys don't mind. I'm kind of busy.
We'll be watching. Now, you have a good night, you hear?
Yes, you too. And he slides back in his apartment door.
That was a bust.
I think the most awkward part was Hank's silence throughout the whole thing. Just watching.
Just standing there.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm still stewing over Thomas, so I didn't want to get involved. But I do find it interesting. Is this an artsy part of town? Everyone in here, including Abigail, are related to the arts. We got a comic book illustrator, a World War II author, and Abigail's abstract art. I don't know about Thomas yet, but they're all involved in the arts.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Well, you guys want to check out the basement?
We might as well talk. What do y'all think about knocking on Mitchell's door real quick? That's the last man, or last person.
It's Michelle.
Michelle, sorry. That's the last person here.
Yep. You want to take the lead on this one?
Unless you want to, Benedict.
Benedict is still downstairs, tapping his.
Unless
foot
you want to,
impatiently.
Benedict, as he yells downstairs.
What are you talking about?
By the
Oh,
way,
never mind.
The picture I'm dropping here is Thomas Manuel.
It looks
Oh,
like
Thomas. All right.
Gonna
I guess I'll
Enjoy
do a quick
looking
one
through
with
his mail.
Michelle. Knock on her door.
Okay. You guys head
Benedict
downstairs.
will come upstairs after the kerfuffle.
Okay.
Upstairs. What are you talking about?
You head back down and to Michelle's room, or to Michelle's apartment. I'm sorry, no, you go upstairs.
She's right across from Lewis, I think.
Is she? Oh, okay, yeah, maybe so. Sorry. Yeah, you turn right around and you give Michelle Van Fitz's door a knock, and there is no response.
Knock louder. Say, Michelle? Is Michelle there?
Again, nothing. You kind of look there's like a window down at the end of the building, and you can see it looks like that the sun is just below the horizon now. It's getting a little later in the evening, and maybe she's not back from work, but there's no indication of anything really. You give it a knock. Nothing.
Benedict tries the door.
Yeah.
It's locked.
You made me come up here for nothing, you two.
Okay. Hank's not gonna pursue what do y'all think? Hank's going to write a note, leave it on the door, say with our number. Oh, we don't have cell phone numbers. We'll say call his office, whatever,
Okay.
And then if I can find a piece of tape and put tape across the door, so I'll know if it was opened or not if I come back.
Okay. We'll say that down with the supplies that you have from the FBI, we'll say there's some tape in there for like labeling things. So yeah, you could put a piece of tape over the door or something
like the door crease.
Yeah, you could probably do something like that.
Spy shit.
So yeah.
Well, guess we need to take a different approach, but I do want to check out the basement before we get out of here.
Okay.
Do believe it's not such a safe neighborhood. But sure, why not hang out in the basement in New York City?
Yeah. All right. So you guys head outside. Real quick. Everyone, make me an alertness check.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
And when you make your rolls, make sure to enunciate your rolls for me. So you say, I got a whatever over whatever or whatever.
Benji got an 8 under 20 success.
12 under 20 for Benedict. Everybody's really alert late at night.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we all have 20s and we all passed?
Wasted roll. We're gonna notice
I got
a bird.
I just made it 47.
Yeah. So, as you guys are on your way out, you're coming down the stairs, the ground floor to the first floor stairs. You're coming down, and all of you kind of at the same time, like you kind of take a sniff, and you're like, and you all you all crinkle your noses for a second. It's like, do any of your characters traditionally have pets, do you think? Like dogs or cats?
Benedict has a bird.
Benedict has a bird.
Benji's probably got a cat.
Any of you who have spent any time, it's like that's like dog piss.
Wait, where are we? We're just on the first floor, or we're out by trying to get.
You're
into
on the
basement?
stairs coming down to the ground floor, like on your way out. And just yeah, that sounds like someone has a dog in here.
Do any of y'all smell dog piss?
Yeah, I do smell dog piss.
What is odd is this smells really strong. Like, you would go so far as to say it's like a dog is just pissed in here. Like, you can't really see where it is. Like, the carpet's all kind of stained already, and you're just like, you didn't smell it on the way up, though.
So this is inside the apartment building?
We're going down the stairwell from the second floor. I don't know why it's labeled first floor, but
it's
floor
the way,
above the
because it's called. Let's just call it, because it makes more sense to us. Let's call the ground floor the first floor.
Okay.
The floor
Some
above
kind of-
that, the second floor and third floor. It's so you guys are on the stairwell between the first and second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Can we...
All right, fellas. This may be a little strange, but just roll with me here. And Benedict just starts barking.
It echoes into the
And then he
apartment
listens.
building.
No response.
I don't think so.
He's hoping for the dog to bark, if there was a dog.
Benji reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pork chop smothered in white gravy and wags it around seductively.
Hair, puppy, puppy, puppy.
Jesus. Yeah, he does.
All right,
surprisingly enough, that seems to have no effect.
Can I roll a
No
spot
dog barks
dog?
back.
Can you roll a spot dog check? Yeah, you don't. You fail the spot dog check.
Okay. How do I want to roll something to look. Let's see.
I mean, I will continue down to the first floor and like see if.
I'm gonna search. Roll search.
Okay. Roll search check.
35 success.
35 under 40, and that's a search check for Benji for 76 over
Benji
40.
got a failure for Benji.
So you will say you search and you find a wet spot. You find a wet spot of dog piss.
Over here, fellas, I found the dog piss. Is it?
We found the
where
piss.
is it located?
Now we just gotta find the dog.
It's like on the third step up. It's like it looks like, and it's like on the banister, like you would imagine a dog would go and like hike its leg and like piss on like the railing.
Well, we didn't see a dog in in Abigail's apartment or Roger's, did we?
No sign.
Gotta be that shithead, Tom. Okay, I don't know what else we could do with this information.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we'll note that. I'm sure it is of some relevance as we continue.
You guys head outside. The same key that opens the door to get in the building opens the basement. You go into the basement, and it seems pretty unremarkable. There's a lot of the stuff you'd kind of expect. There's like a box of linoleum tiles, like maybe for replacing ruined pieces of flooring. There's some of the really old, like I said, this building is like really old-fashioned, like turn of the century kind of stuff. There's like several of the like, they're not candelabras, but like the like the fancy gaudy like light bulb lamps that are on the wall. There's like a few of those. Some of them are broken, and things like that. There are like a few kind of small rooms. They're basically like closets. Looks like a lot of this is storage. You see some boxes that have looks like the names of tenants on them. Maybe they use this area for storage. And one of the rooms, you see that there is looks to have been converted into a studio, like an art studio. And you see that it's smell like, as you like open the door, it smells of oil and paint thinner. And there's like a pile of not a pile, but like a stack of canvases against one of the walls. And that's the most noteworthy thing that you find down here, and as you first give it a once over.
Does it look similar to the art that was in Abigail's apartment? The work?
You want to look through the canvases?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You look through them, and as you pull them like the first to the side, you see that there's several paintings, and they're all quite good. You'd say, like, that's your first impression, that they're like, whoever did this is very very skilled. But there are a few ones that are kind of, some of them look to be maybe in process. The first one you pull out is it looks to be it's very lifelike. It's like not quite photorealistic, but it looks like the painting of a scene, and it is of the scene of the viewer, of the observer, is looking up a set of stairs, and at the top of the stairs is a figure with a white mask, like a white, very blank, featureless mask. And the whole house, the whole building around it appears to be engulfed in flames, and it's just staring down the stairs. Another one, you look and you see there is it looks like to be a boy, or not a boy, but like a young man, and he's in a hospital gown, and he's standing looking at the observer, standing there in front of a tall mirror. But the reflection in the mirror looks similar to him, but is twisted and gnarled and deformed, with like a misshapen head, and like muscles that are like too big in some place and too small in the other. The last thing that you see, and are you all looking at this? Are you all going through this together, by the way?
Benji was planning on going through the boxes to see if he could find anything with Abigail's name on it.
Okay. So
I think Benedict would be wanting to leave, so I don't think he'd be looking through stuff.
okay, maybe Benedict's just kind of hovering at the door. So, and then as you're going through this, Hank, the last picture you see in beautiful, pristine detail what looks to be a child-sized person wearing a clown's outfit. Beautiful blue colors, and it is mid-dance and like twirling this trailing white shape all around it.
Hank's like, Benedict, Benji, come over here and take a look at this. You're more of the artsy-fartsy people. Not really my style, but I can tell it was done with great precision. And he rallies them over there to look at the 3 photos.
Oh, I don't like this at all. This is awful.
Benji, you see this and you immediately recognize this. This is not like, and even as you look at it, you're looking at the whole picture, not just the subject. Roll me a sanity check for Benji.
I was like, are we about to be in the picture? That would be trippy.
Yeah. Oh no. Nightmares about this.
Sanity. Here we go with sanity for Benji. That's an 89 over 51 failure.
Failure.
Blood runs cold.
Take 1 point of sanity damage and put a tick in helplessness if you are not yet immune to helplessness. You are looking at this, and it is a picture. The dancing clown is at his feet is a record player, and behind him is a fountain and a beautiful crisp blue. You would go as far as to say August day in New York. And you look, and one of the figures in the crowd surrounding them, you think back, and it's like someone, maybe there was like another street performer there, who you kind of vaguely remembered, who kind of stood out. There was like a mime in the background, like street performers doing something, or someone who was doing like street drumming, like what is it, like where they have all the buckets and they're drumming on them. You remember seeing that person also by the fountain, and you see them in the background as Benji realizes this is uncannily similar to you guys when you were meeting in Washington Square Park.
Yeah, Benji's blood runs cold, and he just like starts to sweat and shake. He like tries to conceal it. I don't think he's gonna say anything about the vision he saw in the park because he barely knows these guys, and he doesn't want them to think he's insane.
Right.
So.
Well, would we notice him like visibly?
Yeah. Hank, this fella looks a little sweaty.
Well, shit, I didn't think they were that bad.
Well,
what's
and
gotten into you, Benji?
Well, and as you're looking at these, Benedict, you see another piece, and it's wrapped. It's another canvas that's right beside those. It seems to be separate from these. It's wrapped, like in a cloth, like to store it or transport it. And there's a label on it, and it says, "My greatest work."
Oh, this looks promising.
On the clown one? You said on the back of the clown picture it says "My greatest work."
No, there's another canvas that's wrapped up.
Oh.
Yeah. Benedict will definitely try and investigate that one.
You open it. You unfold the canvas or the cloth that's over it, and you're looking at the back. And as you turn it around, for a moment, you're quite puzzled. at what you're looking at, and you realize there's nothing. It's a blank canvas. Blank.
Well, this is disappointing.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't think anybody does. Artists, right?
Artist, man.
Man,
Can he maybe? He's got journalism art. Now I was going to suggest he might like to look into it a little deeper.
okay, good. Yeah.
Like you want to study the painting?
Yeah, I want to study the painting.
I mean,
Because
if you want to
he's
sit down here in this
baffled at
basement and just stare at the white canvas, then by all means. I mean, you could take it somewhere else and look into it, or do something like that. You guys also notice that
He's-
in the middle, or like kind of in the middle, or where with some of the other paints and stuff, and there's an easel set up and things like that. I mean, someone has been painting in here. You see a pile of it looks like a pile of cans, like paint cans, and it has a note on it that says for Sammy to pick up.
Sammy?
Sammy.
Oh, Sammy.
Sami.
We haven't come across a Sammy, have we?
No. As a player, I want to see if that thing has like invisible ink on it or some shit. But as a character, I just
Yeah.
don't think I would do that.
I think-
Well, I'm kind of going along the same. I think Hank would be thinking of the same thing. Describe what's around there. So we have the paint cans with the for Sammy on it. We have these 3 pictures, 4 now with the blank canvas. What else was in the room?
Just other miscellaneous supplies.
And the boxes that people had storage stuff in, right? Did I
They're
find
in another
anything with
one.
Abigail's?
They're in one of the small
Okay.
rooms. Another small room.
Okay.
I think
Well-
Benedict would actually take the painting home. Be like, yes, I don't get it, but I think I will keep it because, you know what, I think part of what the artist was trying to communicate was for you not to get it, but then to think about why you're not getting it. And I do think I will take this one home. Do you have any problems with this?
Dang, that's deep.
Personally, I think it was the best piece too. So go ahead.
Vinci nods thoughtfully, like,
Yeah, it was. God dang it, this is art.
God dang it! If you guys look into some of the boxes, if you go in there, I mean, it seems to be like this stuff isn't really secured. I mean, it's behind a locked door. You look and you see that there are a few, but you do find a box with Abigail's name on it. You open it up and it looks to be clothes, like nothing out of the ordinary. And you find some other stuff from with some other people's names on it. You find, something with Michelle Van Thitt's name on it, something with Louis Post's name. It seems to be this is storage, that people are using this area for storage. You find more clothes. You find like what looks like extra kitchen utensils and that kind of thing. Like maybe like some photo albums and keepsakes and things that maybe people didn't have room for in their actual things. Make me a search check.
Anyone in particular?
Anybody who wants to look through the boxes.
I'm definitely gonna look through Thomas's. Crap.
Benji's
By the
looking
way,
for
I know the little check box. Do we set those or change them or anything for this session?
If you are, when we get to the end of the day, you guys are going to.
End of the day. Gotcha.
Benji got 15 under 40. That's a success.
All right, Hank did
Got a
too.
30.
You guys are both kind of looking through this stuff. Benedict is standing there with his blank canvas,
So proud.
looking down his nose at you as you dig through other people's things. And
Looking for some panties I can sniff.
you don't
my
find.
God.
Jesus. All right. You find some women's underwear. They are clean though, so that's probably not what you're
Oh,
looking
these
for.
are worthless.
Throws him over his shoulder.
You find some stuff with Thomas Manuel, but it's unremarkable. But what you do find between the two of you, who had the better success? I guess technically Hank had the better success here, so we'll say Hank finds it. Hank, you and Roger. How the hell are we going to say this guy's name? Karun?
No, actually, Benji's better success because low is better, right?
Technically, higher but succeeding is better. The
Oh,
way
wow.
it works out.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
It's weird.
so Hank, you find in Roger Karun's, is how I'm going to say it, in one of his boxes, you're opening some stuff up, and you find a like in and amongst things, and as you're like looking at this box, it looks like this box, all of Roger's stuff has tape over it, like it's been taped shut. This box looks like it's had the tape taken off and then put under another box. And as you open it, it looks to be closed and whatnot. But as you open it and you're kind of rifle through them, out at your feet drops a floppy disk.
What is it? Some kind of Lego? And I'll pick it up and look at it.
What?
I'm just joking. I know what a floppy disk is. Is there any writing on it?
It says, doesn't say anything. It just says private in pencil across the floppy disk.
I show it to everyone. I said, fellas, I think I found something. He shows and he's like, this was in Roger's stuff on the first floor. I'm gonna keep hang on to it. Maybe we can look into this later. Does anyone have a computer around here, or at their apartment or something?
Benji probably.
You probably have access to something at the marshal's office.
Well, I just remembered I have one at the marshal's office. If it's cool with everyone else, we can go get those tools for Benedict to rummage through people's mail, look at this floppy disk, and contemplate over this blank canvas some more.
No, golly, what have I gotten myself into?
Right. That is a legitimate question.
All right.
Yes.
All freaking right.
Freaking right. All right. So are you guys gonna kind of like head out and go your separate ways, or what's the kind of intent right now?
I kind of want to go
Yes.
to the marshal. I was thinking we could all go to the marshal's office. Okay.
Benedict is sick and tired as a character. I want to hang out, but Benedict is taking it.
Okay.
Benji's stomach grumbles loudly, and he's like,
It's past my dinner time. I gotta go make some mac and cheese
Of course.
and feed my
Well-
cat, Alibaba.
All right. Well, I'll swing by the marshal's office and get these tools for Benedict, and
Look,
maybe I'll take
honestly,
a peek at this.
honestly, I'm pretty happy with what we've done today, and
Well, I just
I
meant
would-
for later, so we have it on hand. If
Right.
the
we'll probably
need
come back
arises.
tomorrow, though.
We'll probably harass them some more tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, well, let's harass these poor citizens tomorrow.
There's always more harassment to be had.
and Benji's like,
Good work, team.
and we've achieved nothing.
I
We
wouldn't
did
say
smell
that.
dog piss.
I wouldn't say that you guys.
Don't be so
have-
hard on us, Benji. This is how investigations go sometimes, and
No. Benji is super optimistic about it.
okay.
Dace is not.
Hey, man, I think we really cleared this apartment building out. I got a good feeling about this one. Except from the breaking and entering and the felonies.
All right. All right.
I'll
So first, let's go with let's actually move with Benedict. Where's Benedict go?
Benedict has a small apartment that he's renting next to Judy, his elderly neighbor.
Small
Who's
but
also
nice.
Not, he'd like to think so.
Okay.
would really
Sounds nice
like
to
to
see.
think
Would
so.
like people to think maybe.
With this
Uh,
painting,
I think,
price is gonna go up.
like, he's ashamed at how dingy it is, because he doesn't have any sense of taste or any kind of sense of style or design. So he just got something small and dingy. So he goes home, but he does have his little bird at home sitting there waiting for him, little Margie.
Right.
And I think he goes home. He won't really see Judy at this time because she's already past her bedtime. And usually he would have a bit of a sit down, have a cup of tea with her in the evening. But she's not out. It's way past her bedtime. So I think he would go home, feed Margie, the magpie, a little bit, talk to her, because he can really be honest and confide in Margie.
Okay.
And I think he'll also try and find a nice spot for his painting.
All right. You open the door, and as you do, you see the back of someone in your apartment. They are crouched over Margie's cage, and they're sprinkling bird feed in. And
Sir, who are you? You, sir.
It
Get away
stands
from
up,
her.
and it is Jeremy, your PA.
Oh, good God, Jeremy, you gave me a heart attack.
Oh, Mr. Farthington, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Mr.
Jesus.
Farthington. You said that that you might be late, and I just thought I would come by, and I'm so sorry,
Imbecile.
Mr. Farthington.
What are you doing here right now?
You gave me the key and told me.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't care.
Mr. Farthington.
But while you're here, please make me a cup of tea, and
Yes, sir.
and then let yourself out.
Absolutely, sir. Can I take that for you? He
Did
goes
you
to the
bring me any food? Did you bring me food, Jeremy?
Yes, sir. There is.
Or are you just here to feed my bird?
No, sir. I'm here.
Am I
I put
less important than the bird?
no, Mr. Farthington. Not at all, Mr. Farthington. So he goes. He's like, I'll start that tea for you, Mr. Farthington.
And a sandwich, please.
And yes, Mr. Farthington. And he
You
goes
scared
into
the
like
shit out of me. I think it's the
little
least you
kitchen.
could do.
Yes, Mr. Farthington. You're right, Mr. Farthington. He goes
actually
into the kitchen.
Secretly happy that he's there.
And Margie, your magpie, is it?
Magpie, yeah.
Is it Margie the magpie? Is just making that awful squealing sound that magpies make at every instance, whether they're happy,
That's-
sad, excited.
That absolutely speaks volumes about this character that he has a fucking pet magpie.
And as you see and you hear Jeremy in there, it's like, Mr. Farthington, got several calls today from the Daily Mail. They were wondering how the collaboration was going with the New York Post. Is there anything particular you want me to tell them, or?
Oh, Jesus, Jeremy, at this time of night you want to talk about work? Okay. It's
I'm
fine,
still on the
yes.
clock, Mr. Farthington. You said I don't sleep.
That's your choice, Jeremy. Don't make it your business my business. That's not my business.
Yes, Mr.
But if you must, like, don't. Are you burning that toast? Check that toast.
Oh no! He scrambles back around the corner.
Micromanage.
Oh,
Just
no, it's
tell
fine.
them that things are in order. Have you got something to write this down? You know how you are, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know how I am, sir. He starts-
Please write this down. Just
Yes.
please tell them that the investigations are going well. We've got there's 4 people that we're interviewing tomorrow about the unusual increase in beggars in the park who seem to be dressing up for Halloween this year. We will get that story out as pretty standard stuff.
Yes, sir. It sounds like it's going to be a great story, sir.
I don't know why you're bothering me with this right now.
Yes, Mr. Farthington. Mr. Farthington, you have a lot of mail piling up. I know you said you don't like me to open your mail, but some of it looks kind of important. I mean, are you going to be around much tomorrow? Like, are you
Jeremy,
going to be able to?
I thought we discussed the mail story.
Yes, you told me not to open your mail. You said it was private.
Yes, but Jeremy, we also need somebody to filter my mail while I'm busy. with a very important story. So if you
Okay.
could please do what I asked you last time and just filter out the important stuff for me.
I don't know how to do that without looking at it.
Just don't open the unimportant stuff. Don't open the important ones. Just leave those for
Okay.
me.
Don't
you.
open. He's writing that. Don't open the important stuff. All right. Here's your tea, Mr. Farthington. He set
As
your
his
tea
nose
down.
is bleeding.
He set your tea down, and it's exactly how you like it.
Feels relaxed. Sandwich, please.
Yes,
He
Mr.
holds out his
Farthington.
hand.
That sandwich enters the hand. Bam.
Oh, no. And he just stares at the blank canvas whilst Margie is screeching.
Is there something? It's
Would you like to join me, Jeremy? Did you make yourself a cup of tea?
no.
Jeremy.
Am I?
Jeremy,
I
have I ever told
tea?
you that you make me feel very alone in the world?
I am so sorry, Mr. Farthington.
What?
Jesus.
Jeremy, at this point, I think you've done enough for one day. You should probably go home and tend to your plants.
Okay. Yes. I will check in with the office and get your mail. And only read the unimportant stuff tomorrow. Will you be in to the office? Sorry, my dogs are barking.
It's not that
Doesn't
bad.
sound that loud on our end.
Okay. He's like, so are you going to be in the office tomorrow, sir?
Yes, I'll swing by. We will check in tomorrow. As I'm sure other very important stuff will have popped up by then.
Okay. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, sir. Bye, Margie. And just at him.
Slams
you
the
shut-
door shut.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do with this? So you're just gonna spend the night drinking tea and eating your sandwich and just looking into the
Talking to
abyss of the
Margie.
painting?
I think he uses Margie as a bit of a psychologist, and he just talks about Jeremy all night, drinks his tea, really tells Margie how he feels about Jeremy, how it really is an asset in my life. Margie, you understand me though, right? She looks at him, just her head,
Tilts
and
the head. Yeah.
he carries on as if she's understanding him. Says,
Okay.
I really do love him. But he's just a handful. And eventually he gets tired of his own talking and goes to bed.
Are you gonna hang the painting?
It's just going to sit on the floor near Margie's cage.
Okay.
But
Um.
invisible, because he doesn't hang stuff. It's a mess. So it's somewhere that he believes is within sight for him to drink and look at while he's drinking his tea.
Okay. So then, what about Benji?
Yeah, Benji is just going home to his depressingly small apartment. It's clean though. He tries to take care of the place. Throws on a Howlin' Wolf record while he makes his mac and cheese. Pours out some dry food for Alibaba.
Who is Alibaba?
His cat.
The cat. That's right. Is it really your cat, or is it just a cat that kind of comes and goes?
No. Alibaba is his cat. The neighborhood cat is named Breakfast.
That's right. Okay, gotcha. So when you get in, you see there's a message on your machine. The little lights is flashing as you enter the home.
Well, that's probably not important.
He stirs his mac and cheese.
All right.
Toast bread.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Fuck the handler, and let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the answer machine.
All right. Here it's like beep. It's like Benjerino, Benj Machine. Dude, it's Skylar, man. Hey, give me a call when you get in. Just call my mobile, and yeah, it's like, I wanna talk to you. It's got big blowout plans for this weekend. You got any plans? Nah, of course you don't. All right, hey, give me a call, man. Beep.
Oh, Skylar. Such a joker.
Yeah, he calls Skylar's mobile.
Yeah. cell phones are not as big as they were in the early 90s or late 80s, but still they are very expensive, and not everyone has one at this point. So you call Skylar, and it's kind of hard to hear him. It sounds like he's at where he always is, some party. You hear it's like, hey, Benji!
Hey, yes, it's Benjerino.
Hey, man, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing much, Sky Dog.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, listen, there is this huge thing tomorrow. It's tomorrow night, and I want my number one wingman. I want
don't
Benjerino
know.
there.
I've got a lot of writing to do on this dissertation.
Benji, come on.
Well, all right, I suppose I can take one night off.
Benji, dude, this is not like, look, I know I've dragged you to a lot of these warehouse parties and grand openings and stuff. This is gonna be like nothing else. Do you understand me? I got one word for you. I got 2 words for you. You ready?
Is it 1 or 2?
It's 2.
All right, I'm ready.
European models. That's all I gotta say, man. You get yourself stoked, and I will see you. I'll be by to pick you up at 6.
Oh, good golly.
Right.
How's your daughter?
I'm not thinking about that right now, Benji. It's not headspace I'm in. You're really fucking harsh on my vibe.
Tell little Cassandra I said hey. I hope she's doing all right.
She's with her mom. Anyway, Benjerino. All right, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll pick you up. I'm picking you up at 6, brother. You ready? You get fucking ready. European models. I said it. I said it again.
Okay.
All right. Love you, brother.
I love you too, Skyler.
All right, Kappa Phi Delta.
That's right.
Well,
I was gonna sing our fight song, but I guess. All right.
And yeah, he finishes his mac and cheese and fires up his outdated Macintosh and starts working on his thesis or his dissertation.
Yeah, and that dissertation, it's what was it again? It was the ethereal and the blues.
Yeah, doesn't have it's as yet untitled, but yeah, the subject is how the crossover of the uncanny and the blues.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you were actually told by some Delta Green people that this paper needed to not contain anything true, about the unnatural. So they've really kind of put a hamper on your own personal pursuits of your academic life.
Yeah, I think Benji would be writing 2 separate dissertations, like the real one and the one that he's being forced to publish.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you had an interesting encounter in Clarksdale?
Yes, Clarksdale.
Yeah. All right. So Benji's just gonna slam out some work until he gets too tired, or
He probably has a pretty rigid schedule. Writes for an hour and a half and goes to sleep around 10.
Okay.
Pretty tame stuff. Alibaba curls up on his chest.
Yeah. Hank?
Just you and me, Allie.
Hank
Is he-
Elliott, U.S. Marshal.
Joke, remind me, does the sanity replenish after doing good things at home, or is it just as an mechanism? The sanity just not replenish.
Sanity is typically only is recovered in home scenes and the stuff where the in-between mission stuff. Don't worry about replenishing sanity, John. Why are you worried about that?
I'm more curious.
Asking for a friend.
Says the guy that brought a blank painting that is the psychopath's best work to his home.
Hank Ellis.
So he's gonna head to the office late. I don't imagine there's anyone around, or is there? He's gonna go into
The
office.
marshal's office, there's always something going on. So there's definitely security, and maybe there's functionaries and stuff. They were kind of doing some stuff. There are a few agents. You might see another marshal who's at their computer, typing up a report or something. They see you and it's like, Hank, as you go in.
Howdy there. He sits down at his desk and, he's a ways away from Georgia, and he calls up his mama, who's taking care of the 5 kids. The 5 kids' grandparents are taking care of them. And he calls up he says, "Hello, mama." Wow, that's weird. My phone just started ringing.
Oh, hello.
Wow, that was.
Yeah, your mother, and your mother's not really one of your bonds, is she? I don't think
Well,
she's
she's taking care of the 5 sons.
right.
You
The
know,
5
while
sons.
he's out of
How old are these sons? I got the impression they were, because Hank is 45.
Yeah, they're between the ages of 35 and 7.
Okay, so she's probably not taking care of all of them.
Well, they're all staying with her, as far as I know.
Okay, they're one contiguous unit.
I say, "Hey, mama, just calling to talk to my boys. Can you put John on the phone?"
Yeah, Hank, about that. You know, Marjorie. She wasn't doing too good.
Right.
Yeah, John went up there with her. I don't think she's long for this world. John's awful broke up about it. His mama, poor thing.
Lord.
And
Lord have mercy.
that Marjorie has been, battling breast cancer, and things haven't been looking good. You don't really keep up with her. Hank doesn't. I don't think Hank really gets along with his exes. Hence why none of them are his bonds.
No. Right.
He's gone up there. He should be up your way. He said he might stop in and see you.
Well, that is wonderful, and I look forward to that very much. Tell John I'm thinking about him. And what about Jonathan? Is he around?
Oh, he's around here somewhere. I'll get him for you. You talk to your other son, Jonathan. So John's the eldest at 35. We've now established.
Do you have a list of names?
Well, no. There is absolutely a list of names. It is. Let's see. The sons are John, Jonathan, Joshua, James, and Junior.
I hope Hank speaks to everyone.
Who I believe are all products from different women.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Good God.
I just wanted to tell you, Jonathan, keep swinging that bat. I know you're doing good at baseball practice, son.
Dad, I'm 25.
Keep up the good work. Is Joshua around?
Yeah, he's here. Hold on. What do you say to Joshua?
Joshua, I love you, boy. How you doing? How's that art coming along? Your paintings, you doing
Dad,
good?
I'm not doing painting now. I'm doing I'm doing sculpture now, Dad.
Oh, how did I forget?
Whatever.
I love you, son. Put James on the phone.
Hey, Dad.
James, where's Junior?
Oh, he's right here, Dad.
Put Junior on the phone, James. I don't want to
did
hear
really
another
good
word,
at this
James.
science
No.
fair. I got a blue ribbon. They said I'm doing really good.
I never liked the color blue. Now, where's Junior?
Okay. And you hear your 7-year-old son, Junior. Hi, Dad.
Hey, Junior. You know you're my favorite.
Yeah.
James is my least favorite, but don't tell James. I just have to talk to him to keep things even.
Whoops. Cat out of the bag on that one, Dad.
I love you, boy. I can forgive you. I can't stay mad at you. Y'all have a good night. You hear?
Night-night.
Night-night. He hangs up the phone.
Fantastic.
By the way, having a 35-year-old son doesn't really make sense if you're 40.
You're right. It's probably like 33.
He's adopted.
he sits back and he puts in the floppy disk.
Okay. You put in the floppy disk, and you find that there is there's a file that also says private, and then there is a Word document. They have Microsoft Word in 95. Is it already a thing?
It just
What,
came
right?
out with Microsoft 95.
So you're on a Word machine, probably not running 95 because it just came out and you work for the federal
Okay.
government. So,
Sure.
but you pop it in, and so there's the file, there's the folder that says private, and then there's a file that is labeled Night Sea, which you know is Robert Caroon's. It's the
Now it makes
it's the
sense.
book series that
Yes,
he's.
I understand now. I just had to see it spelled. So there's a file named Night Sea, and then there's one that's private.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. It's not titled Night Seas. It's titled Night Floors.
Oh,
My bad.
this isn't the book he was talking about. I click on it and read first paragraph or something, or see what's in there. I guess first.
It seems to be a play, or not a play. It's a story. It's a story that is written and it has characters that you recognize their names. There's Roger. There's Thomas. Then there's Michelle, Abigail. It seems to be
Uh-oh.
people from the
Weird.
apartment complex. And yeah, and Lewis, he's there too. You're kind of reading through it, and it just seems to be some story talking about the people all, getting together and, different interactions they've had. There's some other characters as well, though. You see Mr. Castaigne, who's referred to as the night manager. You also see references to the super or the supervisor. It seems like, maybe like a landlord kind of figure. You see a Mark, and you see something else that's. Well, actually, give me a search roll. How much are you going to get into this?
41.
41 under 50. You're going through and you're trying to find something relevant. I don't know if word processors and computers are Hank's biggest thing, but you scour. We'll say that you stay there pretty late. That this probably takes you into late into the evening. You're the last person in the office. I imagine there's one of those 90 cubicle farms, that's all the office spaces of the U.S. Marshals. The last one who's got out, he's like, "See you later, Hank."
Alrighty, take it easy.
And you're just there reading through this.
Mm-hmm.
You see something a little bit disturbing that kind of catches your eye. It talks about that a bunch of these characters are all in a smoking lounge, is what it sounds like. And you're flipping through the pages, scrolling down. You see it's that the character Mark enters in and he says to everyone's sitting around smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. He says, "Well, Abigail's gone." And and Thomas responds very curtly with, And Mark says, "I miss the kid." Michelle then responds with, her dad, that pig, came around. He doesn't like you, Mark. No one likes you. Anyway, she ran off with that salesman and everybody knows it. Mark responds with, "Fuck you, you cunt." Then you hear Thomas. Thomas says, "Come on, guys, come on, let's..." And right at that time, they're interrupted by the barking of a dog. And that they all turn as they hear the sounds of steps coming towards the door of the parlor. And Mark shouts out, "Who is that?" Everyone stops to listen, and there's no response at first. And Michelle responds with, who is that? Who could that be? And then it stops with "Enter federal agents."
What? This is trippy.
And the way the federal are described, very, very familiar. Please roll me a sanity check.
Yeah, this is
Oh
creepy.
no.
I just hit the sanity points.
Yep.
Click. Okay. Success.
All right, you take 0 loss, but
So Hank, well,
that's
this is
weird.
at least Hank takes off his hat, his cowboy hat, and just starts fanning himself. He says, "What in the world is going on here?" That's trippy for sure. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, but let me get this. Someone's called Mark came in and said that Allison's gone, and Michelle said Abigail's gone. Then Michelle said she ran off with a salesman.
yes. And you see that through this, there is referenced a few times a salesman. It's not like a complete story. It seems to be a story
Right.
that's taken up like in the middle.
That's super
And
trippy.
something about her dad.
Michelle said something about Abigail's dad.
'Cause he's a
said
cop,
that pig came around.
and that no one likes him.
She was telling Mark that no one likes him.
Okay.
She was basically dissing Mark, saying that nobody likes
Yeah.
you, Mark.
Do we think Mark is the stand-in for Roger? Is that the Roger character?
No, they
It's
were all
unclear.
there.
It seems like Roger just might not be in this scene because he's
Okay,
in some
yeah.
others, but this is the most interesting one.
I mean, Mark sounds a lot like Agent Marcus, but he's like basically like our real like in-story handler. So I don't know if that really makes sense, or I'd go that route. That's trippy though, for real. It's as if he was writing this story just or the story was like being written in a fictional way right before we came into the apartment, or some like weird version of something. I don't know. Okay, that
And
was
it was
one
in the basement in the storage.
Mm-hmm.
and it was in the
Cool, cool,
basement.
cool, cool.
Is that right? I missed that part then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck? We should have searched for secret doorways.
Whoever's
The
making
basement.
those notes down there, I just corrected something that I didn't explain
Okay.
well. That Mr. Castaigne is the night manager.
Okay.
Fantastic,
Mark,
thank you.
There's
Abigail
also
ran off
there's
with
also
herself.
the super is also referenced as someone separate.
And say the name of this story again.
He calls it the night floors.
The night floors. All right, this is super trippy.
And there's that other folder as well,
Yeah, it just says private.
just as private.
All right, let's open that.
It's password protected.
He types in night C.
It fucking opens.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
All right.
I swear to God, I haven't looked up anything about this.
No, I got
manual.
you. I got you. Well, I mean,
I would have called that too. That's
Oh, yeah,
a good
I mean, it's
guess.
not.
well, it's like it's like I'm imagining Hank sitting there. He stops for a second and goes, and like I imagine Hank types like this,
Yeah.
like he doesn't type well. He types with his two fingers. He's night sees, click, and it opens. He goes, it's like fuck.
Passwords.
He's like
Rookie passwords.
He's like, he's like, computer hackers ain't got nothing on Hank Ellis.
You can't keep
So-
anything away from a marshal.
So the actual name of the book is Night Floor, but
The story.
Night C
Was
is
the
the
password for
password?
this
Yes,
protected
Night C
document.
is Roger
Already published
Calhoun's his book series that made him semi-famous.
Okay.
So when you open it, you see that there are like somewhere between 50 and 70 files. Each one is and each one has a different name. Whoops. I think we lost John.
I'm
He
still
might
here.
just he just closed his camera, so it cut off.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
go
okay.
back in a sec, but carry on.
Okay. Shit. When you do that, it fucks up the stream video, but it's okay.
Oh, sorry.
It'll buff out. But anyway, so I was saying like there's a whole bunch of them. Like I said, easily like 50 to 70 of these damn things. As you are looking at them, they all have different names to them that appear to be like the names of like they're like weird artsy short story names, like What the Other Hand Did and The Silver Lining and things like that. It's kind of all over the place.
Well, I think Hank is. I mean, he passed a sanity check, but that definitely, how could it not startle him slightly?
Right.
He's going to spend as much time as he can before falling asleep at the office, going through them.
Okay, you click on the first one and you click on the file. It opens, and it's empty except for a single letter. S.
Sammy? I don't know. What else would be S? Okay. What was the name of this story?
We'll say this one was Smiggin's Rule.
Smiggin's Rule.
What if the rest of the text is in white font? White text. Did y'all ever do that? Like in college, like if you had to hit a certain word count, just put a bunch of gibberish letters in white at the bottom of the page?
Nah, I know. I don't think I've ever done
I never
that.
did that. Surprised I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, that's good though.
Okay, he backs out and goes to the next story.
All right. The next letter is same thing. Everything's blank except for one letter. M.
I guess he continues doing this.
You continue doing this. I assume you're writing these down
Right.
or something. Okay. You go through different thing. Venus's daughter, the demon in the veil, the stranger in the village, death of the invisible pygmy. All this random, like all these different things. Every single one single letter. As you write them all down, it eventually comes out to and there's 64 of these files, and it spells out: smooth is the hand that makes the world, and steady is the mind that grasps it.
This boy is weird as hell.
That's the takeaway.
Okay. Can I roll an occult?
Yeah.
And this will be the last roll before we'll get back with the gang and go to
Yeah.
sleep. I probably won't hit this because it's one of my lowest things.
That is a
Under
6
10.
under 10.
Nice.
What?
Hell yeah.
Wow.
All right. I don't know how Hank has this occult knowledge, right? You're thinking about it, and you're like, oh God, I feel like I've heard this. What is it? It's something you can't quite remember. It's on the tip of your tongue, like what it's from. And you're like, it's this weird, like this occult book that's been around for a really long time, and this is a passage from it, and you don't know why you even know this. But it's on the tip of your tongue. It's they're not English words. It's what is it? Ars, ARS, Ars Goetia? Ars Goetia? However you say it, I'll write it in the chat in Roll20. And you're it's from it's a famous line from an occultic text.
And what was the quote? Smooth is the hand that...
Smooth is the hand that makes the world, and steady is the mind that grasps it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how we would play that realistically as character. Maybe it was he remembered seeing it jumbled on something in his craft that he was rummaging through in the basement. Not the actual text, but the words or something. I don't know how we'd actually play that, but okay.
You seem to remember maybe there's you were talking to a peer, another U.S. Marshal, about some really bizarre case he was on, and he was talking about the this weird cult that they found, and they were these really probably just a bunch of posers doing a bunch of shit, and they had this book they talked about.
It was in the file of the report. The sentence. Smooth as the hand that makes. That's some shit that would be said in Dune.
Yeah.
You're on your way out of the building, and you see there's a guy there. He's the security guy. He says he's like Ellis, Agent Ellis.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Do I know you?
There's somebody here for you. Said he was your son. He left. He waited for a while. He left this for you. He gives you a piece of paper, a note. It looks like John came by and was going to try to see you here at the office, but you spent all night upstairs working. He says, and the note just says, it's like, Dad, this is John. Mom's dead. Need to talk to you. Call me at this number, and it's a number. It's like a hotel number.
Okay. It's pretty heavy for Hank, even though he didn't get along with her. You know, someone he had a close relationship with died. It's like, oh shit. And he's like, I'm guessing like pissed tired right now, but he musters up and tries to call the number.
You call the number. It's like 10 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you hear fumbles. It's, hello?
John, son, it's your daddy.
Hey,
What's going on?
Hey, Hank. Listen. Mom passed. This morning.
Goodness.
And this afternoon, we were, I know you guys weren't close, but yeah, like, so I came into town a day or two ago. I was with her, but anyway, I was talking to the lawyer, and you're still in her will, and that's that's not really what she wanted. Like, it just hadn't been updated since you guys were together. And so I just need you to come sign some papers, so we can fix that, just so we can get all that stuff handled. I mean, it's not like she had anything, but, like, you're the primary on there. And so, yeah, I just need you to, are you busy tomorrow, or are you busy at 11 in the morning tomorrow?
I'm sorry to hear all this, John. Of course I can come by and sign the documents tomorrow. Get some good rest, and we'll address this first thing around 11 tomorrow.
He gives you the address of where to meet him. He's like, all right, but yeah, thanks, Hank. I'll see you there.
The boy didn't even call me daddy.
I'm still on the phone. All right, good night.
Oh, well. Goodbye.
Yeah, he hangs the phone.
All right.
And Hank goes home. Hits the hay.
And that is it for this episode, as the team is just beginning to uncover some of the strangeness in the McAllister building while trying to desperately keep their lives from falling apart. Thank you for joining us today. We would really love to hear from you over on our Reddit, where we have an introduction thread for folks to let us know where they're listening from and kind of what they think, give us feedback and whatnot. The links to all of our socials and stuff, they're in the episode description below, including our Patreon if you'd like to buy the team a cup of coffee. And don't worry, we will split that cup of coffee 4 ways, as even as possible. Again, thank you for coming along, and we will see you next time. Stay safe. Stay sane. Bye.